Hey guys. Hey guys. Welcome to another episode of Hello World with your girl Joy from Be the Difference. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing fine. I hope that everything is working out for you and that you are extremely happy in everything that you do. Yes. Hold on, y'all. I'm just trying to figure something out real quick. Um, Today was a really good day so far. I can't complain about that one bit. Ooh, I'm tired though. I'm still tired. You ever been like tired? That's what I am. I'm tired. How was your day, guys? Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and turn on your notification bells. If you can, give me a thumbs up or down, whichever one you prefer to do. It's fine by me, and it's absolutely up to you what you would like to do. Because here at Hello World and Be the Difference Clothing, we want you to practice utilizing your free will, whichever way that is meant to go. We all have to start um, adjusting to and appreciating other people and how they feel and what they feel, no matter what we think. Y'all, I'm setting up this camera over here too. All right, here we go. That's it right there. Let's do it again. Hold on, let me pull you guys forward. I've always tried to do like simultaneously filming on a couple of platforms, and now I'm really trying to do it more so. I should have been more prepared, but I didn't like the angle that it was at, so I just said let me fix that real quick. There we go. So now I'm looking down and not up. So let me just start this one. All right, guys. So anyway, I hope that your day is going well and that you're enjoying whatever it is that you're doing today. And I really am thankful that you guys are here and are spending whatever little time you have with me. Let me start off by telling you how my day is so far. So I woke up this morning and I drove down. Well, we drove down to Philly for a little bit, and it was a nice little trip. I enjoyed it. I got back. I got back in Jersey around like 2 o'clock, and from 2 o'clock until now, I still been backed up tired. So I pretty much, um, I pretty much slept, and now I'm here. But this is something I really wanted to talk about. A topic right here. So welcome in everybody. I hope you're doing well. Um, Oh, let me see if I'm buffering anywhere. That's the one thing I always keep on forgetting to check if I'm buffering. So let me check on that. Let's do it again. Here we go. All right, so now I'm just waiting for it to come up. Remember, guys, it was pretty warm today, so try to hydrate yourself as much as you can. Oh, the feed is amazing. I'm loving it. All right, so let me go back to here. All right, so that is it right now. Let me think. What else happened? Anything else happened? No, nothing else has happened. It was just a decent day. So today I wanted to talk about fear factor. Um, and the idea, hey Brooklyn, how you doing? NYB boy, I know that's right. We have a member. We have a member. And it's Brooklyn NYB boy. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. We're talking about the fear factor. I just went and talked about my day. I hope you're doing well. How are you? By the way, how are you doing? I hope you're feeling fine. Um, just feel free to express that if you'd like. But I want to know how many people really want to be free. I mean, we always say this: be free, uh, stand in your truth, live life the way you want to, right? Awesome. I'm doing good. I'm doing good too. Um, we always want to say all of those things, right? But you know what that requires? A lot of those things are going to require us to let go of a lot of ego. And it's also going to require us to redo some of the things that we systematically have thought was our truth, our way to live. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Hey, Phantom, how you doing? Good to see you. So that's step number one, is identifying whether you really want to be free or if you want to hold on to fear. Now, I always believe that it's okay to have healthy fear. Healthy fear is I'm not going to cross the street without looking. So I'm going to look. That's healthy fear. In my opinion, that's healthy fear. Healthy fear is also thinking twice about touching an open flame and leaving your hand there. Practical things that can imminently lead you or lead you to uh, alteration of your figure, your body, your mind, or possibly your soul. But there are some things that we allow to lead our lives, and sometimes fear is the number one thing. Now, what happens when a person isn't fearful and then all of a sudden something happens? And I think this is why we need to work on some of those childhood traumas, because we'll understand that sometimes the trauma happens there, or even just traumas alone that happen in our lives that we don't necessarily think are big deals. But that's where the seed gets planted. And then for some reason, it grows rapidly, kind of like weeds do. It's like you can plot your land out, put as much pesticides as you want, but a weed always ends up coming out. And if you don't handle that weed, it turns into a bunch of weeds, a family of weeds, and all of a sudden your garden is filled with weeds, meaning your eyes and your ears and your head are filled with weeds. What if fear meant, or ridding yourself of the most important pieces of fear meant that you have to get used to living off the grid? Is that something we would be afraid to do? Heck, we should have been afraid. We should all be a little hesitant about living in boxes that could eventually cave in. Because depending on who you are or where you live, those things really aren't looked at every day, right? I mean, we live in boxes that have gas and electricity running through it like nothing, and we don't pay that any mind because we think we're safe. We build this false sense of security around us because we're in a box, i.e., our homes. But what if we absolutely remember that it could take a spark for any one of those things to react in a way that could lead to imminent death? Whereas when you live off the grid, and I'm not suggesting that at all because I need my pleasantries, I need my toiletries, I need all of that. But living off the grid would mean that you have no box. that your shelter is pretty much not square. Your shelter can bounce, it can move, literally move with the rhythm of whatever nature wants to do. If there's a gust of wind, your shelter will shake. And then we won't have this unlimited source of light. Well, correction, we always have an unlimited source of light because the moon always creates some light. But we won't have the convenience of 60 watt to 120 watts worth of light. And then when you live off the grid, you have to figure out and seek out what foods to find and eat. But there's where the trust comes in. And there's where fear should end. Nature. We all come from nature, right? We all come from soil. We end up becoming soil again, unless you want to become ashes, whichever the case may be. We end up going right back into the earth that we were birthed from, right? How can we fear something that holds and sustains us all the time if we were required to go back living off the grid, getting used to testing the different berries and leaves that we can actually eat? But we think we can't because we're told it's poisonous. Now, evidently, there are things that are poisonous and we have to be careful, but then you would know the difference equally. Hello, world. That's my ringtone, y'all. Hey, Terry, how you doing? Good to see you. Yes, we're going to let that ride out. Hey. Hello, world. And I made the beat too, y'all. I created that beat, and that's my vocals. I got it mastered and mixed by Karma. She is a dope engineer. I never ever met a female engineer before, but that was pretty dope. We still have the sun and the sun, exactly. But imagine. But I'm just bringing these things up because these are things that we literally fear, right? And that prevent us from honestly understanding what freedom is, right? So think about it, y'all. We always have things held over our heads. Like if you don't pay your PSE&G bill or your electric bill, you're not going to have light. And we already know what it looks like when there's no light. But we should trust that even if you don't have light, you're still going to get light. Your eyes adjust. See how nature is beautiful? Your eyes adjust so that you can see perfectly in the dark because there really is no real dark, right? Maybe then we'll be a little bit more careful. We would trust our instincts more because we have to actively work on them, work through them, and have them work for us. Nature. I'm not suggesting that we throw our houses away and throw all of the electricity away and our computers. I'm not suggesting that at all, but I'm asking if freedom required us to live off of the grid, would we be willing to? Would we be afraid? And I'm stating that we shouldn't be afraid because nature has always taken care of us. Even when we live in our boxes, we get our materials from nature. Some of us have wood all over the outsides of your house, and then it's covered over in plaster. We still have nature. We still utilize nature. Are we thankful? What if fear was not a factor? And we easily could say no to things that we don't agree with and be okay with the repercussions because at the end of the day, we're always going to be supported. So, how many people want to be free? Or are we afraid ultimately of the cost that it will take in order for that freedom to really happen? I found Our three nephews and my sister and niece had COVID. Oh no. Sorry to hear that. No, Terry. I hope they get well, speedy recovery. I think you mentioned that the other day, right? Speedy recovery to them. And I hope that they get all of the medications or the medicines that they need in order for their bodies to overcome the disease. So, what are you guys afraid of? What is the one thing that you're afraid of that's holding you back? Like for real, holding you back? What's the one thing that you are being held back from doing that can ultimately lead you to a wonderful life? Maybe a life that you didn't know could exist. Mhm. Pow pow, how you doing? Good to see you. Burns is here. Oh snap! We have a member. We have a member, and it's Version Closet. VJC is in his house. The YT cheerleader. Good to see you. Thank you for coming by. What if fear was something that was taught to us and we realize that and we no longer want to be that? This requires you to work on you. At some point in time, we all were created or taught, not created, we all were taught to be fearful. And then somehow that fear made and became malignant. But can we do the surgeries to dig it out? You can be physically free, but you can emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, and financially be in bondage. Yes, you have to take the blinders off your eyes and mind. It's true. It's very true. Are we ready to unlearn some of the things that became truth to us, which really aren't? That takes inner work and things that we can't see to help us, like, i.e., God, your maker, creator, or whoever you believe in. They're the ones that can see the things and the things that we can't see ahead of us, behind us, beneath us, in front of us, on top of us. We see, God sees the unseen. And if we've been walking around with unseen around us, but there's been a barrier of protection all of that time, why won't we trust that letting go and working off of some of those fear factors that we collectively created or has been created but don't want to work on? It's about that trust too, right? Do you trust that maybe that's another thing we fear? That if we honestly worked on some of the things that are holding us back or held us back or can hold us back, that would mean that we would be uncomfortable in the present situations that we live in. I think I touched on this yesterday. What if some of us were really meant not to be financially well off in order for us to be completely 100% happy and living in our purpose? But either way, you would be happy and living in your purpose, and all your needs would be met, regardless of if you were working in your purpose. What if the very things that were distracting us were part of the things that made us fearful? These are just ideas and thoughts to think about. Just finished helping the family member painting a tall nail era scary moments. Hi, John W. What if we're so used to things being in a routine? I've been used to routines. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna emit myself or omit myself from the conversation. I've been fearful of things, but less and less, the more I grow, the less and less I am fearful of many things. Because when you sit back and really earnestly think, a lot of things really don't make sense. It just doesn't. But we go with the flow because that's what we know or grown to know. So I ask again, how many want to be free? Your freedom is the distance between that fear factor that you have inside or in front of you. Just like Terry said, it could be spiritually or emotional bondage. I'm not even going to talk about finances because we all, no matter where you are in the status of life, we all always want more of that greenback, which really is the greenback that feeds us, not the one that they killed and gave to us, but the greenback that if Earth decided it wanted to rain for 40 days and 40 nights, we would drown if we had no shelter. So we really should be more leaning on that part than on the greenbacks that they killed in order to make. The paper, all the trees that were killed in order to make the very thing that we trade that really has no weight. Just we put value on it and say it's such. Meanwhile, the more important thing is breathing in and out the oxygen that's provided from the earth. We take that for granted, don't we? Or do we? So, back to the point. I guess in the long scheme of things, we should rely more on the things that are absolutely being and providing a benefit to us. The benefits that we have are very simple. Nature. We benefit from nature every day, every hour, every second, every minute, every millisecond. Minus all of the lights that we've created, minus all the electronics that we've created. You cannot create nature because it does it itself. We do it ourselves when children are born. But ultimately, we need nature in order to fulfill growth in our own lives. So, why are we afraid of the very thing that sustains us? Who's willing to do the research to find out what can help us feel better if we get a common cold besides going to take a Tylenol or Advil, something that we know will work instantly because we've been taught and told that it will? So, in some ways, we kind of actively make those things start to work in our favor. Wow, that's deep. Hey, we have a member. We have a member. And it's Patty D. Hey, Frugal Mama. What's up, Afro? How you doing? Good to see you. Hi, Austin. How you doing? Oh, that's not even your name. What do we do? Are you willing to let go of some of that fear? I mean, we should try our best to work on little pieces here and there of fear that may be in our lives. You know what I'm saying? Joy, this type of conversation proves you have you'll be a great leader, not a sheep. Thank you, Terry. My day was good, Afro. I'm just saying we need to get to the root of what we're really fearful of and what we allow to create fear in our lives, and that we just go with the flow of it. There's a lot of things that we just are fearful of is because we're told, be afraid, be afraid. You should be afraid. No, you need to be afraid. Where we don't even realize, should we be afraid? Let's use an awful example, right? What if I ended up catching a common cold? I just have a common cold. And somebody just says, oh, Joy has, and everybody's going to go with, oh, Joy has, instead of, oh, it's just a common cold, right? Just to create more fear for you, just to create fear in me. Like, wait, maybe I don't have a cold. This is why it's so powerful. Why I was saying yesterday, we need to stop talking so much about things that we honestly do not have statistics for. Maybe we should pray more, meditate more, and earnestly ask how much of the things that we're being told are real versus fake versus creating fear. I mean, the hot topic is what we are currently going through. But what if we honestly really assessed and did research for ourselves? How real would everything be that we're being told? I don't know. I can't talk on that. I can't speak on that because I don't know. I haven't researched it. But somebody is. And the people who do research and do the research, we can't just go around saying they don't know what they're talking about if they say they've done their research. And the only way we can prove them to be wrong or right is if we backtrack and see if what they were thinking or researching was correct. So that would require a lot of silent moving. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the less fear we have, the stronger we can become. The stronger we can become, the less fearful we are to say no. The less fearful we are to say no, the less we care about what people say or do about us. The less we care about what people think or say about us is the less ego we have, and that creates freedom. People are taught fear in order to be controlled. A fearless person is a person who is harder to control. A fearful person will be in a mental box. Once that box is once in that box, a person can be controlled. Yeah. The name used to be a doctor. Wait, hold on. It annoys me to be so fearful. Change is my top issue. Yes, Mr. Terry. Hey, 12, how you doing? Life with Nicole Marie, how you doing? Good to see you. And the fact that we can identify the things that we don't like, and the fact that we can identify and talk about them means that you are absolutely working on them, right? That means that we are working on them. We are working on them. And that's all we are required to do is to work on them. And the rest will follow. Education, information, and a new life experience will help to alleviate fear and bring self-confidence. Like Franklin Dean Roosevelt said, "We have nothing to fear but fear itself. Be bold in life." I think a great way to think is that what I eat doesn't cause another person to use the restroom. Mm, so true. Deep 12. Very deep. Patty D driving. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. But it's very true. We've got to start being able to at least think. For real. We have to start being able to think. Has anybody actually started to think? Wow. Have we started to think? Tonight's news. This is the head topic of the day. Versus being outside in your own elements, getting involved in your community. That is your nightly news or your daily news. We cannot possibly be so fearful of what's going on in another part of the country that has nothing to do with us and cannot really affect us directly. But yet, we say, oh, the crime needs to stop in our cities. We need to stop the crime in our cities. But we're too afraid to talk to the persons or people or the person that may be creating or wreaking the havoc. Well, maybe you don't have to go by yourself. Go with the people that are in the same agreement with you, who actually want to work on things and who actually are not afraid to approach one person or a group of people at all. Ultimately, at the end of the day, are seeking some sort of love and understanding covered up with all that muck and mire. You don't think that if you absolutely worked on yourself and you believed in God, your maker, creator, whoever, will help you approach the right people and give you the right words to say? You don't think that you would be protected? Well, they're crazy. We think people are crazy. We think everybody's crazy. Hence why we're so afraid to even say hello or look people in the eye or speak or say, you know what? I don't know. I don't know how you feel, but I believe, maybe I was a little harsh or whatever the case may be, whatever the things that you have to convey to a person. We become so afraid of humanity that we're afraid to even talk to each other. Crazy, right? Jazz changed your name. I had to back up the chat. Wait, where Jazz? Where Jazz at? Oh, wait, Jazz, you're NY Brooklyn, you're Brooklyn NY boy? That's you, Jazz. Oh, snap, that's Jazz right there. It's not Dr. Jazz, no boy. No more. It's Brooklyn NY boy. Okay, you know who I thought you were? I thought you were Brooklyn Cord Cutters, just changing his name. Yes, I did. Thank you, Jazz. I mean, Brooklyn boy, Brooklyn, New York boy. Did you want info on yoga? We have to stop being afraid of our own shadows and our own reflections. And our reflections are the people that we physically can see. Because at some point in time, we end up realizing that we have so many things in common when we actually talk to each other. All of us in this chat have something in common. And the commonality that we share is that we no longer want to be ruled by the things that are holding us back. That's the commonality, and what's one of the most important things that a human can have is to understand that we no longer want to be ashamed of who we were birthed to be. We no longer want to be told what we are when we're not. We no longer want to be in confusion and have and gain some type of understanding. Look at how similar we all are. We all have different backgrounds and cultural things that we've grown accustomed to, but at the end of the day, our common bond is we no longer want to be held back. The thing is, how much further do you want to glow, grow, and go? But it shouldn't matter. That's not even the answer. Because the more you get to know each other, ourselves, the less we think about glowing and growing because it automatically starts happening. Get it? We may not see things. Shoot it. We don't even have to talk about fear anymore because we become more bold. That no longer is in our sentence. But I speak on fear today because I don't know who may watch this rerun who is in a state of so much bondage and fear because of what life has taught them or told them to be, or because of the things that they've done that made them be in that position. Get out. It's simple. Start believing. Start believing. Just a little belief, just like that mustard grain seed of faith. That's your belief that where you are is not where you're going to end up being. There are always better experiences to be had. I don't care how good of an experience that you think you're having, you still can have even better. The sky is the limit. Happiness is the limit. No one can tell us what the cap is on happiness. It's just what you're willing to experience daily, hourly, momently, singularly, millisecondly. Right? We no longer want to for anything. We believe that it's happening. And when you start to believe, all these doors will open to help you overcome. It's kind of like meditating. Oh my goodness. It's kind of like meditating. Remember how, some of us say that it's hard to meditate because we're thinking about meditation so much. But rather, if we just sit down and do just simple things, we end up meditating. It's the same thing with when we want to work on those things. Okay, you say, I want to work on some of my fears. You no longer have to talk about those fears because situations will come up that will help you overcome those fears. And your body, your resistance, your temple, your soul starts building up this fear factor to overcome those things. And no longer will we have to talk about it. It will no longer be a discussion because we automatically started adjusting to and allowing that thing to just go. Until like a year or two from now, you're like, wait a second, I was afraid of what? That was something I was fearful. Oh my goodness, yeah, I was. But don't let it harp too much because then you'll become more fearful of it again. Right? We can't revisit those doors that we've already closed. We can't go knocking on those doors that had all the toxic stuff in it, where the toxicity was too high that we couldn't even control. And it was blocking everything that would make us become free. Free. So consider this, guys. Maybe one day, not in our lifetime, maybe in our lifetime, we might end up having to live off the grid. All of us. I'm not just talking about any specific person, all of us. Maybe then we'll start to say, you know what? I'll turn the lights off more and let nature illuminate the kind of light that I need and trust that my vision will adjust to whatever it needs to. Or if my vision won't adjust to whatever it needs to, maybe I should not look at those things. Maybe that means I should rest my eyes more. These are just thoughts, things to think about, y'all. Maybe I should learn, well, we talked about that once before. Maybe I should learn how to make a fire. or create electricity. Shoot, we're given so many things that can create electricity even if we don't are not in a box. Solar panels. And they're selling them right there in Lowe's. They're selling them right there in Lowe's. The little solar panel things, you can, like a T-key solar panel, you just stick that thing in there and let the sun. And then at night, I'm pretty sure they'll end up making the solar panel things where you can plug a regular 12 gauge or 12 volt plug into it. And there you go. Start investing in those solar panels, the little portable ones. Pay attention. Pay attention. And then the little types of the little stoves, the electronical stoves, the portable stoves that we get, just one pilot, I guess, right? Maybe we should go camping. Maybe we should go camping. Maybe then we'll be able to create the true antidote to keep mosquitoes away from biting us because we're on the grid or off the grid. I'm just saying. You're talking about the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, 5, 24. Put on the full armor of God in the 23rd Psalms. I'm home now. Hey there. Okay, Patty is able to speak to everybody. If you haven't seen it, have Netflix, I suggest you watch it. Watch what? Starring Sandra Bullock, called The Net. Yeah. I saw that movie. Ooh, I saw that movie and when I was in grade school. Girl, not only that, The Fifth Element is forever. The Fifth Element, RoboCop. They're all movies that keep on popping up in my head now. No wonder they just started putting them back on. There will come a time where, in order to be in society, you have to look like society. And if you don't look like society, then you're the outcast and rubbish that the cops want to get rid of. Watch The Fifth Element. Watch any RoboCop. Or any movies like that where it's always like, what do they call them? The Resistance. They call them the Resistance. And the Resistance don't look like everyone else who have all of the beautiful garbs that are all the same. And they're all wearing white. Usually they're all wearing white. They're all wearing white and they're walking around with perfectly trimmed haircuts, perfect skin, perfect shoes. But the Resistance always ends up looking like they're dirty because they're forced to live underground. Crazy, right? Hollywood has always taught us and has always been preparing us. But we just think it's entertainment. We're stimulated, but we're not stimulated. We're stimulated, but we're not stimulated. Take everything that you see and hear, take it, dissect it, take what works for you, and then the rest of it was just stimulation. But nothing under the sun holds none or a little resistance. Well, truth, I'm sorry, not resistance. Holds a little truth to it. 40 minutes. Good news. They're called insurrectionists, troublemakers, and rebel rousers. Yeah. It's funny, right? People who are living in their truth and don't want to conform to everything that isn't right become the rebel rousers and the troublemakers. Just because they're saying, you know what, no, there's something wrong. I don't believe that. That's not true. But now you're the troublemaker. Because guess why you're the troublemaker? Because somebody said to other people that you were. And other people believed it so easily. Instead of saying, well, let me see what they have to say. No, you believe it. Just like how rumors start. You just automatically believe it and run with it. That's how a rumor starts. Then by the time you find out the truth, you would have been like, well, they should have told the truth. What you mean they should have told the truth from the beginning? They did. But you were going with the crowd and a sense of wanting to belong to somebody else's truth and someone else's manipulation about another person. That's messed up, y'all. Again, nature and what's inside here, as long as you've been working on it, will steer you in the right direction, whatever the right direction is. Some people aren't meant for you right now, others are. Until you worked on whatever it is in your life, then those others that weren't meant for you become meant for you. You ever notice that? Our beliefs are built on what levels we are on. You can't believe or you can't be exposed to X, Y, and Z if you haven't even started to believe that there is an X, Y, and Z and that the X, Y, and Z could be credible. Doesn't work that way. I was with my I was with one of my little relatives. Actually, no. Yeah, I was with my little relative and they were doing a counting game. And they went from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and went through all the numbers and then said 97, 99, 100. I said, oh no, it doesn't work that way. You cannot get to 100 without counting that 198. You, us, we cannot get to the next level until we take each step. How can you build a step if you're missing pieces? Oh, we create cheats. You cheat yourself out of that one step. You can miss an eternity of a lesson or an eternity of something that could be great. Just because you decided to skip a step. No, go through every motion, guys. Go through every motion. Go through every step. Go through all of the feelings so you understand what those feelings mean. Go through them. Take each step. Don't be so worried about going from step 1 to step 50. All the other steps in between help you build up enough courage to be at 50, help you build up enough mind and brain matter to be at 50, help you to build up enough heart and soul to understand what 50 is and respect is. That 50th step. If you skip from 1 to 10 and then go 11, 12, 13, then go to 25, you're missing the whole point of getting from 1 to 50. And then those missing pieces, you will not understand or know how to deal with that 50. Everything is just a whole if you don't go through all of the steps. Mm. You can rest now. I'm about to wrap it up. I guarantee the more we work on those different fear factors in our lives, we will be able to boldly go from 1 to 50 and take each step without fear. We'll have better understanding. We will be a little more happy. And we will think less about the materialistic things that we made that hold no weight to the parts of us that actually live. And that's all of it. We should be outside every day. When we go outside, we should be like, thank you, God, or whatever you believe in, for this tree, for giving me oxygen, for covering me from the sun. Thank you for being so beautiful to create light so I can see That's what we really should be thanking. You know how you thank nature? You take care of it. You don't throw your trash outside. If you're driving, oh my god, that is my biggest disgust is when I see somebody haul something out their window and I'm like, oh my goodness, you just threw all this garbage on the ground. Like, I'm so sorry, Earth. I'm so sorry that they did that to you. Such disrespect. You should want to clean up around your homes if you own a home or if you own an apartment, whatever it is. You should want to tidy up that area because you're paying homage and thanking God for creating nature or whatever, however you believe it goes, for allowing it to sustain us, and that you want to keep it as neutral as possible so don't get upset and to be like, well, you don't take care of me, this is what happens. It's a process, absolutely. You're talking about the sixth sense, divine intervention. Your higher power is speaking. Are you willing to listen? Fear will naturally let go of us when we just continue to lean on what we can't see, which is truly, if you believe in God, your maker, creator, whatever you believe in, if you truly believe in that, they will, God will sustain you and protect you from the unseen that is already protecting you from, but also the seen that you think can penetrate you. But no, you got that guard, you got that protection always. And guess what? That protection will steer you away from things that will harm you. And don't scorn when things don't work out all the time. We were coming back from Philly today and we kept on hitting roadblocks. Automatically, my temper was starting to rise. Like, but then I said, you know what? I don't know what the I don't know what it was for. Maybe it was to spend a little bit more time together. Maybe it was to test my patience level. Don't matter what, but guess what? That's currently where we were, and I'm just going to sit there and go with it and be thankful that I got through, that we got through and made it safely back to New Jersey. Appreciate all of the roadblocks. Are they really roadblocks? Or were they protecting us? If they truly are roadblocks, then what are you doing to build that roadblock? Have faith. Have a little faith. Hey, have a little faith, trust. Hey, have a little faith, trust in God. Have a little faith, trust in your maker. Have a little faith, trust. Just trust. Trust the process. Anything you haven't done before in your life is always going to be a tiny bit painful or uncomfortable. And that uncomfortability becomes more comforting when you start to understand how to flow in that. And when you understand how to flow in that, it no longer is uncomfortable, right? Your first day at work is uncomfortable. You don't know the people. But every day that you continuously go back to work, you become comfortable with the people you're around. You get more confidence in the skills and the abilities that requires you to maintain and do your job. Hence, what faith is. Mm, deep, right? I was like, oh, snap, that's so deep. I didn't really think of that before. Guys, please consider following me on all social media platforms at btdllc. I appreciate you guys for being here. I hope that I know that we have grown together just in a few little things that we have been thinking about, talking about, that we will be able to absorb something new and be okay with being uncomfortable for a little bit. Because for a little bit, it's just getting used to those adjustments. And then it becomes natural, no longer shaking us. I'm going with the beat. Hey, you guys are beautiful and amazing. There is no mistake about you. The more you're willing to slow down, the more we're willing to slow down, stop, and allow our maker, higher creator, whatever, to be in our lives for real, and trust that it has and will always sustain us, and that we respect the places that we live under, and respect the things that grow that we don't even touch. We didn't plant the seed, but grass grew. We didn't plant the tree, but a tree already grew and was growing from it because its roots were thick and it has enough wisdom to protect us. Then camping, the idea of camping might not be so bad. Mm. Hey Lynn, how you doing? Long time. Good to see you. Come see you so now. Oh, I don't know. I don't know, Afro. I guess it just happens. Jesus says, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes unto the Father but through me. Yep. That's what the Bible says. Pay attention to your bodies. When it's acting differently, don't ignore it. Do something about it. If you don't like going to physicians, which is a gift that God created for somebody, shouldn't be too fearful of that. That they're there to help you for real. And if you can't vibe with the physician that you have, go and research other ones until you can vibe, until it's a perfect match for you, until they want to work with you, until they want to be okay if you want to do some natural things, but tell you what doesn't work. Like I learned that the other day from someone else's chat. Like you can get a physician who's comfortable with you doing some natural things, and they can tell you if you take this natural thing, it might affect the medication that you're already on. I was like, yo, that's dope. It's true. I'm good in you. I'm good. I can't complain. I'm not going to complain. I'm thankful, Lynn. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for where I am in life and for all of the future things that I'll be able to experience as long as I stay in the state of humility or a state of humbleness. Not humility, well, humility and humbleness are the same. As long as I stay in that state, everything will work out. And everything will come to me when I'm ready. So in order for me to be ready for everything, I got to get ready. And in order for me to get ready, I have to be submissive. In order to be submissive, I have to want to. So I'm trying my best to want to be there 100%. I feel like my ego, I let go a lot of it. I let go a lot of my ego. So things don't bother me as much, except for when I'm driving, which is like, that automatic spurt of. But overall, I'm thankful. I have a decent measure of health. All of the concerns that I've ever had about are being met. You know what I'm saying? So far, so good. You know, I'm just taking every day as a gift because we are all coming close to an expiration date eventually. I want to be understanding and loving. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Butch, how you doing? Good to see you guys. Welcome to Hello World. Good to see you. Hey, Carmel Candy, how you doing? Good to see you. So that's all, guys. If you really want the antidote to fear, start trusting God, your maker, creator, whoever will always have your back and will help you to understand things that are either truth or not. Because you will be led or be willing to be led. Oftentimes when you're willing to be led, it's opposite to what a lot of people have been taught to believe. But guess what? If a lot of people who have been taught to believe a certain thing end up allowing God to really, their maker creator, to really move through them, they will be with you. So that's the matter. And how far are you willing to go to get your freedoms? I've also realized we don't really have to fight for nothing because God, Jamaica, karma, creator, whoever, always has the last say and will always protect you. But you have to let go of that ego in order for karma to work, in order for you just to be okay with things not always going the way you anticipated. It won't matter. So let's continue to work on allowing those childhood fears or traumas or even adult traumas, whatever traumas of our lives, allowing those traumas of our lives to no longer hold a precedent in our current and future state, because that's where freedom begins, and that's where fear starts to end, and that's where understanding begins, and that's where confusion starts to end. Everything has a chain of events and reactions. So you can choose whether you want to stay in bondage or whether you want to take a route that you've never taken or haven't taken as often. Either way, you're still going to live a life, but the quality of your life determines on how much you want to work in it and through it and become what it is that you're supposed to. I am here on Hello World every day until we get to 1,000 episodes, guys. 1,000 episodes. We are almost at 800. That's so dope. And I appreciate you guys for being here for however long you can be. I appreciate the time that you give in the chat and we talk. Just working so pretty chilled. I appreciate all of the conversations. I appreciate all of us who decide that we want to think about life differently and live it maybe differently. Heck, you never know. Maybe you are already on the right course, but maybe just some little adjustments need to be done. It's not to say that we have to reinvent our whole lives and that everything that we lived was so wrong all of these years. It's not to say that. Sometimes you are already on the right track, but you just need to refine. So don't scorn where you have been, but work on where you can be. Sometimes a simple adjustment is all we need. So there's no judgment here, there, or anywhere. You know what I mean? It's just thoughts to make us think like, can I be better? Can I become a better person? Can I have a better life experience? Absolutely, we all can. You have to be willing. That would be a name. Okay, Dr. Jazz is now Brooklyn, New York boy, NY boy. Love it. Talking about the Bible, book of Psalms and Proverbs, God will give to those who seek and want to find him. So whatever you do with the remainder of your day, your morning, your evening, or your night, don't be so afraid to be like, okay, I have all this on my plate. No, don't be afraid. Just take it one step at a time. Start by meditating, and I guarantee you some of those things will start to come off. Start praying if you haven't prayed in a while. Some of those things will start to come off. And sooner or later, the truth will reveal itself. And you'll be okay with the truth, even if it's opposite to everything else that everybody believes. It's just fine. You will be protected through it all. So what's your fear factor? Are you willing to work on it or not? Whatever you decide is fine. Let me think. Oh, if you want, you can shop btdllc.com. You can get one of my books. You can get a t-shirt. I don't have any socks on, But you can get a onesie if there's infants that are being born. We can start training them at infancy how to be a little bit more free and how to love and maybe allow them to live their life, even if it's their way and we don't really necessarily understand it. But I have a lot of products, so feel free. Oh, I do have socks. They're here. So btdllc.com for all of or for some of your inspirational needs. And that's it. I appreciate you guys. We love this shirt. This is the deluxe. I don't know if you have ever heard of New Purple Heart. I used to sing a song every time she came in the chat, but she challenged me to do this shirt when I was making shirts. And so from now on, every one that I sell, 10% of it is going to go towards her son that's living now. And it's called the Deluxe. And, it's paying honor to her for giving the idea and also helping her son with whatever, however much or little is collected or sold, to help him a little bit, maybe give him a little bit of money here and there, or maybe, help him along the way because he is, now I don't know if he has a father or not in the picture, but right now he's without his primary provider and giver and care. So I can only imagine what he may be going through this very moment. So yeah, that's the reason why this shirt is made, and all of them are different. They all have different things on it. So this is the first one, and there's a lot of different ones that I've made so far, and they all are not the same. So continue to be the difference, guys, because you are, regardless of whether you think so or not. It's the idea is, are you being the difference in a good way or in a bad way? Only you know if you become aware. So my name is Joy from Be the Difference Clothing, and I am signing out on another episode of Hello